It's story time!
Hello and welcome to the Storytime podcast, and this week I have with me Jack Leahy.
How are you?
Founder of Irish Simpsons Fans.
That's
on
me.
Facebook. Do you want to shout out to everyone where to find the Irish Simpsons Fans?
I mean, if you look up Ireland Simpsons Fans on Facebook, we're all over it. We've got a Memes from Ireland Simpsons Fan Facebook page, which is where we do all of our sharing of our best stuff, and we're at Irish Simpsons Fans on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, so is it Ireland Simpsons Fans on
it is,
Facebook and then Irish Simpsons Fans on
Against
Twitter?
subsequent advice, it's Ireland Simpsons Fans everywhere.
Okay. I'll put the links down in the description anyway.
Please do.
So this is real specific, but you're going to tell us some stories about being the admin of a very popular Facebook page.
Yeah, it's kind of strange the situations that it can throw you into just running a Facebook page, which is dedicated to pictures on the internet. It's mad. I'm also kind of conscious of coming onto a TV show or a YouTube show hosted by a woman on the internet and talking about like how bad people can be. But here we are anyway.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So the first thing obviously that comes to mind is we've had the page for 2 years now. With roughly 31,500 people, but when it was a lot smaller this time last year, we just got taken over by this meme craze. It was you probably saw it yourself, like Come Here to Me or some one of those Dublin blogs shared this picture of a guy sitting in the corner of a bar that's in some obscure book, and it referred to the guy as a Pintman. His name was Paddy Losty, and he was known, or people of his ilk were known for drinking 30 pints a day.
Thank you, because I know what Pintman is, but I have no idea where it came from.
Yeah, well, I'd seen the thing a couple of times before it actually like appeared in Simpsons memes, but it just for whatever reason, like this time last year, just completely took off in that page, and like we were dealing with like there was maybe about 8 or 9,000 people at the time, like 100 things an hour, like all making the same joke, like 30 pints or more or whatever. So like we just got sick of it at one point. Like I just couldn't keep up with deleting them. So one of the guys posted something saying, "It's over, like forget it, stop it, we declare it dead," which was an incredible misjudgment now that I think about it, because I never really before thought about the sense of feeling people can have for that kind of thing. So people lost their shit.
That's been hard done by. Like.
Yeah, people felt really hard done by because like it was a guy who likes pints, what's not to like. Never saw the attraction myself, but people loved it. So that kind of descended into like the worst couple of weeks of my life, like for whatever reason. People just felt the need to take it up with people personally. People got a lot of Facebook messages. That was just the start of it too. I was relatively far away from it for the start, but like, you know, one of the girl admins got told by someone that she deserved to be raped for it. And it's always...
Why is that always the go-to insult?
It's because it's always men. Like, I mean, like, if you get a message...
How do we know they're men though?
100 times a week, say you get a message being like, "Hey, why'd you delete my meme?" or "You're full of shit," or whatever, and it's always lads. I never got a message from a woman off that page asking any kind of question like that. So it was really, really tough for a while. Then they made their own group where they started putting all their like single punchline jokes, and they pretty much used it as a therapy session for a while just to talk about how much they hated all of us.
Yeah, so from an
absolutely
outsider's
nowhere.
perspective, there was like, I remember sort of vaguely seeing like mentions of a war between Simpsons fans and Paddy Losty meme fans. So it was a weird time on the internet.
I mean, there's a lot of weird times on the internet, but this one was probably the strangest one I've definitely had any kind of direct involved in.
But this is amazing because it's like a real specific Irish internet thing.
It literally couldn't happen anywhere else.
Like all the Americans watching this are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and the most Irish thing about it actually was when someone I know saw something, like it went on for months, like people would post pictures of me and of Michelle and like just like in awkward weird positions or just random,
the admins,
like abusive Simpsons memes, and they
That
post
could be
being
its
like,
own page.
or they post like this thing like of me getting like, you know, I'd be scratchy getting destroyed by itchy or whatever, and like, oh, wonder how long this will last on ISF, as if like it's totally unreasonable and self-protective and snowflakey to not want that content on a page that you're on.
Alright, so apologies, there's been a little bit more editing on this than normally, and my setup keeps going funny. My new setup. I'm getting used to it. So we're going to pick up from Irish Simpsons Fans being a Sinn Féin front.
Yeah, well, apparently that's one of those persistent myths that exist about the group. Probably because you can't really have a meme page about Irish culture without taking on Gerry Adams in some shape or form. But there was a time, again, maybe about a year ago, like maybe directly after or directly before the Paddy Losty phase, where Sinn Féin just embraced that. They didn't embrace everything, not the, you know, the Gene McConville stuff and the wasn't in the IRA kind of stuff.
They
but
embraced that
stuff that associated Sinn Féin with like republicanism and the 32 County Ireland was lapped up
By Sinn Féin?
By Sinn Féin, yeah.
Really?
Became like, it was posted
I
on
didn't know that.
all their official social media channels and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
They were just lifting memes out of Ireland Simpsons fans and popping them up.
They're obviously being very selective, so for maybe Americans who aren't in Irish Simpsons
Yeah.
fans, there was a lot of like stuff. I wasn't in the IRA. And,
Yeah.
like you know the trying to think of an example, like the one where Grandpa's like, my Homer's not a pervert.
Yeah.
And it's like Jerry Adams wasn't in the IRA. He might have been A, B, C, and D,
And in the IRA, but he's not a communist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was a pretty weird face. But what they had the goal to do as well was to watermark, as in they would like obviously like click save and then watermark the thing as their own, which I find hilarious because like nobody's precious about like content that they've already stolen from somebody else anyway. Like nobody's precious about that, but and people kept sharing them then to the page, and I was like, stop this, just stop it. You understand what the purpose of marketing is? To Sinn Féin had that sort of like couple of weeks where they realised that maybe The Simpsons is a popular thing and they can capitalise on it.
They just robbed them. They didn't even make their own.
They didn't even make their own. They might have made their own. They even associated themselves with stuff that historically didn't have as much to do with Sinn Féin as they might associate. Like, I mean, a lot of the earliest stuff was all like, Dustin Hoffman's character handing Lisa read the note, and you open it up and it's the proclamation, that kind of stuff. As in, like, probably hasn't got all that much to do with Sinn Féin actually, but they loved that stuff for a while, and we had our suspicions as to who it was. We knew a few of the people in the group were either working with Sinn Féin, working with like members of the Oireachtas who were with Sinn Féin.
Spies.
Yes, sleeper agents. I mean, I'm sure the IRA had plenty of terms for. I mean, I'm sure the IRA had plenty of terms that have now made their way into unrelated and unassociated organisations over the time. But it sort of persisted then, this idea that Ireland Simpsons Fans is being run by Sinn Féin in some way. And it peaked its head recently when we started posting more of the Repeal the 8 stuff, as if like Sinn Féin was this obviously pro-choice party that was clearly now infiltrating and injecting its agenda. But I just love it. Like, there's people out there who genuinely believe that. It reawakens you to the idea that people will just believe whatever they see on the internet, no matter how irreverent or clearly joking it is. People will totally believe that.
Now, wasn't there an article about the Irish Simpsons fans in, like, I want to say like the Telegraph or something, that was like how Jerry Adams became relevant again thanks to a meme page? Yeah, there was I think it was the UK Independent that wrote it, because it writes that kind of stuff, about how Jerry Adams has basically been reimagined. And in some senses, like this, like meme culture and The Simpsons is totally about reimagining people, but it doesn't change anything about them, Yeah, we got a name check in that. It wasn't just. I think I was trying to make the point like the younger people were like more likely to vote for him or something because he was memed all the time. I was like, I'm not sure you understand how politics and memes work.
I'd like to read a more academic piece on that sometime.
So you did. Is Repeal your third story? Or
you probably have seen the stuff, hopefully some of your followers will, where we produced a bunch of t-shirts that profits of which...
Now, are they still available?
They are still available, yeah. We're moving them off the site where we currently had them because they pay terrible commission, and with the success that we've had so far, we definitely should have had a lot more.
And all profits are going to Repeal the 8th anyway.
Yeah, specifically the coalition to Repeal the 8th Amendment. This all came together quite haphazard, including donating it to the coalition, because I know one person who works for the coalition. We literally cooked it up in the space of a day. I'd seen that Rock Bottom, which is the Australian shitposting haven, had done something like that for the marriage equality referendum or the postal vote. They hadn't given any profits or anything like that, but it's just this picture of Mr. Burns when he walks in the door in that sitcom he did with Smithers saying yes with marriage equality written underneath it, or like the rainbow flag. So that sparked a couple of us just to thinking of what kind of crap we could put together basically as soon as possible. And then I was doing nothing, so it literally happened within a day. Took off like mad. I sort of set an automatic post to post, or not a scheduled post to post in the group later that evening because I was going to be out. And I came home and it was like 100 things already ordered.
Jesus.
Like, you got your like classic tweets and Facebook messages from the Love Both crowd expressing their opinion and all that kind of stuff. So that all kicked off pretty quickly. We've sold about 500 things now at this point. Like it's gone really well. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate that a huge portion of that was sold during the sale period. Whenever you put up a new product up, it's like on sale at 30% off for the first.
Oh yeah, so your profits are less, and therefore
your profits actually are way less. And what the site we're currently using, which is TeePublic, offers is you put something up and it's ready for sale, and that's it. And they print really well. The quality's really nice, and it's real simple to do. But you can probably earn 5 times as much going on to a different site, which is what we're currently trying to do. And I mean, it would have been a stupid decision if it was money we were trying to make for ourselves to go on TeePublic, but when there's a cause people want to donate to, and it actually costs quite a bit to get stuff delivered, probably better off.
You want as much profit as possible because you're donating it all.
Yeah, exactly. And we only discovered recently as well, there was like this undercover campaign within the Christians Against Copyright movement, is what I'm going to call it.
Okay, is that like a made up name?
Yeah, it's totally made up. Like there was this post put up the day, like my post was screenshotted then from the Simpsons fan page and put into this like Irish Christians group with a I'm sure the Simpsons wouldn't want to be associated with a progressive cause because that's why would they want that? So here are the details of the people to contact to complain about Simpsons stuff being used in this way, and the comment thread is just like person after person after person committed to contacting, and I'm a huge Simpsons fan, and I would hate to think they would support this. This is the same show that coined the term "gay witches for abortion," would be afraid to be associated in some way with a progressive cause. The complaints were made to Fox about the use of the copyright. We did get an email from TPublic being like, "You definitely sure about this?" But everything actually got left up because you can, first of all, when you're paying the amount that you do through licensed people, some of the money goes towards like Fox and those kind of people anyway.
Oh, did you buy the license?
No, we didn't have to. Just the arrangement through TPublic was that.
Oh, I get you.
They have a license basically. There was one objection was to the Mr. Burns T-shirt, but that was probably because it'd been used.
What was the Mr. Burns one?
It was the yes one, where he's saying yes from that scene with Smithers when he takes over the TV or whatever. Like 4 people bought it anyway.
Yeah, I might put a picture in here.
Maybe it's hard to describe memes. This is not the medium for that kind of thing. So like 4 people bought this, emailed us saying maybe take that down, and we did. And there's been pretty much no problem. And now I'm sure that it's been brought to the attention of everyone in Fox. This side of the Atlantic and the other side of the Atlantic.
They're all in their meeting rooms being like, so how about this?
Exactly, I hardly think it's their biggest preoccupation, but also there was these people, and I didn't block them or anything like that because it just fuels the fire and stuff like that. There's loads of people tweeting back to me being like, well, I'm sure at Fox News or whatever will be very interested in this, as if they're going to interrupt their news cycle to investigate this guy in Ireland who's making $7 for the repeal campaign. But all of a sudden, a huge number of people who weren't previously interested in the question of copyright all of a sudden gained an interest. That was in no way related to any other beliefs.
It's very typical as well.
But that's been a fun campaign so far. People have started to receive them recently. I didn't order mine for whatever reason until like the 4th day, and I was hoping I'd have it today. But people have really bought in behind it, and I kind of wish we had gone for a higher commission site at the start. But we'll just keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to start seeing people tweet the pictures of them.
Yeah.
But just speaking of like the memes being reused, was there a meme that was in the Irish Simpsons Fans, which was the one where they've got their flaming torches and someone had photoshopped repeal jumpers onto them, and it was like the pro-choice crowd when someone is pregnant or something, like kill the baby or something.
Something
it was
like that.
So funny. But then it was reused genuinely non-ironically by the Love Both campaign.
Yeah, and one of the things that's arisen from we have a kind of an offshoot page called The Simpsons Against the 8th Amendment. There's like a lot of pages like that in the UK and Australia against other conservative causes, and once that started to become popular, then this account that I won't name check so that people don't find out about it, but there's this account dedicated to posting pro 8th Amendment Simpsons memes, which is honestly the worst thing I've ever seen. And like,
it's nothing worse than a bad meme. Like we gave a bad opinion.
That's the opinions within it are objectionable as they are, but that's give or take in some senses. But they just don't know how they're doing it, and obviously someone has seen like what we've posted. They've got a minor interest in The Simpsons. They're like, no, culture wartime, let's go.
Yeah.
So they're posting these like terrible, like the wrong scene. And they're using the Frinkiac search engine, which matches you to the scene that you've searched for, and then finding the wrong one somehow, which is crazy.
The Frinkiac search engine is a great resource, actually, if you want to go make
it's changed meme culture
link down
entirely.
Description.
But they've started posting the caption on the image. So, for example, like this is one they posted of Homer being... When his name is changed to Mr. Thompson for protection reasons, and the guy's like, when I say Mr. Thompson and stamp down your foot, you smile and nod. The meme has changed to, when I show you a picture of a fetus at 12 weeks, you say it's a fetus or a baby or something like that. And then Homer's like, I think that's a clump of cells. Which is actually kind of funny, as a parody of, I get it. But the whole caption is on the picture.
Oh, no.
Come on, guys. I lost it. I didn't want to give them the oxygen from the Twitter page for ages. But I lost it. I was like, guys, please, caption goes in the tweet and the quote goes on the meme. It's not hard. And somebody tweeted me back being like, oh, go back to your echo chamber. And the guy had like 6 followers on Twitter. Like, I mean, if you tweet something, literally nobody is seeing it. It's the definition of an echo chamber. At least people are memeing different things on my chamber.
No, I agree with you. Like meme puritanism, I'm totally on board.
Yeah.
Do right or don't do
but
it
it just exposes the fact that the person took up the cause in order to fight the particular battle and had no interest in the Simpsons. Like, you know, as in if I started posting like Futurama memes or whatever like that, you pretty quickly know that I knew nothing about it.
Don't watch Futurama.
And one of the worst things you can do in these kind of situations is let everyone know you don't know what you're doing.
That's true. I find it quite hard in Irish Simpsons memes. Like, I really, really enjoy all the memes, but I find it hard to like think of one myself. Yeah,
big time.
It's quite hard. Yeah,
I've sort of lost that level of inspiration as well. I just kind of like sit back and marvel at what people can connect them. Like, I mean, the recent spate of inserting Christy meme songs or Christy Burke songs.
Oh yes.
That's definitely not Christy Burke either.
Christy Moore.
That's the one. That part. Christy Moore songs into Simpsons memes is just crazy. Like, I never would have had the thought to do that.
Yeah, I never would have thought about that, and I never would have thought about. And again, I'll have to explain this for the Americans. There was a show called California, which is the Irish version of Geordie Shore,
which is
like, I lived for it.
Yeah.
But they've recently, and this is like a defunct show for years, they've recently started mixing the memes with the Simpsons, and it's just fantastic. It's the most meta thing.
Yeah, but it gets even more obscure than that. Like, I mean, obviously more people have eaten Quality Street sweets, but Quality Street bounties and selection boxes took over for weeks.
Oh, wasn't that the Christmas thing when everyone was like, which is the best Irish thing of this comes up every Christmas, which is the best box of chocolates at Christmas? Quality Street. I can't
Roses,
even remember the name.
Heroes.
Roses, there you go.
I mean, I've just seen them like projected into my brain by Simpsons memes so much.
Oh, and then this Christmas, sorry, I'm nearly telling your stories for years.
Please carry on,
but this Christmas they removed the Bounty Bar or the Chomp from one of the selection boxes.
The fudge?
Or the fudge, was it?
Yeah.
And wasn't that...
Oh, they replaced it with the Dairy Milk Oreo, controversially.
No. I don't know if that one took off in Irish Simpsons memes, but there was a lot of bounty bashing.
Yeah, a lot of bounty bashing.
But I don't know if they were related or not, actually.
Yeah, they're probably all related to the same impulse.
It's good fun.
It is good fun, but I suppose that kind of thing... I mean, it was when I got to college and I met Cal, who you know, that I realised other people were as obsessed about The Simpsons as I was when I was younger. And this whole thing has just been a process of realising that people have been thinking about things in the frame of Simpsons reference for their entire lives and had no way of expressing it before now, which has been really interesting. It must
be one of the most quotable shows
ever to exist. Even like, I mean, there's 12 good seasons of 15 or so episodes. Like, that's more than enough.
That's something I've noticed. I never see any Simpsons scene or meme that I don't recognise.
Yeah, well,
I never see them from the new episodes, basically, is what I'm saying.
A huge attraction of like comedy in general, obviously, is like recognisability, and nobody who was interested in the original seasons. Like, you can even tell by the demographics in the group. I had a look at it just on my way here. 18 to 34 typically is the age group. Obviously, people who are younger probably would have seen much more of the new Simpsons, but it's people who are 25 to 34, people who are in our age bracket.
Who are millennials. Not teenagers.
Who grew up watching Simpsons like classic seasons on RT2 at 6 o'clock after dinner, after school. Those are the people who are most active in that group. Like 75% of the group. I think there's like 9 people who are over the age of 70 who really reached into it. But yeah, it is I read something like, I read all the academic books I can find on The Simpsons. Someone made like this grand statement of The Simpsons.
Sorry, hang on a second.
We'll get there in a second.
Did you just say you read all the academic books? That took me a second.
I did my undergraduate thesis on The Simpsons, basically.
Oh my god.
We might get into that in a moment. Actually, maybe let's talk about it now. I did my undergraduate thesis on I did history, so I really had to stretch. But I did my undergraduate thesis on Nazi jokes in popular American comedy, with a specific focus on The Simpsons.
Probably gonna have to be the title of this. I did my undergraduate thesis on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Is there that many Nazi imageries?
Yeah, well, there's a good bit of it, and like not all of them are just the figure of Hitler. Hitler's in it like 5 or 6 times, but there's lots of like you Nazi kind of insult stuff. And I tried to conflate it really badly and unsuccessfully to some sort of relevance for how people understand history and stuff like that. I didn't have to do any research, first of all, because I'd seen all the episodes. I could quote them off the back of my hand. It cut that down by about 2 months. But I got to wander then into like South Park and what's that, like YouTube rap battles from history or something like that. Epic rap battles of history. Yeah, I wrote about 400 words on Darth Vader versus Hitler. And at this point I was like, oh god, like
this is amazing.
I knew people at the time who were like, you know, on 6-month placements in hospitals, like actually treating people, and people who were doing statistical analysis and stuff, and there I am like Hitler jokes. But the best part was, and I won't name him in case he finds it, but I had a really bad relationship with my supervisor. I'd never actually met him. We just communicated over email very regularly.
He probably thought you were so weird.
Yeah, well, that's the thing was, because I'd taken a year out before I did my thesis. So I submitted my thesis proposal in 2013, but didn't do it till 2015.
Okay.
So in that whole time, he just forgot about me, which is fair enough. But it reached such a point of neglect that he couldn't tell me I was doing the wrong thing. Like he could, because it would reflect worse on him. I had to just push forward and go with it. So there's nothing he could do. There's nothing he could do to stop me. I clearly like set my heart on this, no matter how useless it might be. But like to bring it back to the original point, there are so many academic texts on The Simpsons. It's mad.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite surprising.
Yeah, and because I did my thesis in Trinity College, Trinity's library is I can't remember what the legal term is. It's a legal deposit library. So by legislation in the UK and in Ireland, every book produced in the UK and Ireland has to be sent to Trinity, one copy of it.
Wow.
So they don't just have like the stuff that considers the parody aspect of it and the stuff that is really more about satire than The Simpsons. They have Bart Simpson's Guide to Life and all that kind of crap. It's like all sitting in the Trinity Library. So it was obviously no use to me whatsoever to read that kind of stuff because it's written for 6-year-olds and that. But yeah, that was pretty much how I spent my final year.
That's mad.
No.
I'm loving this. It's like the most meta Irish sort of conversation.
Yeah, it's pretty much where the interest started, and I had like the front cover of the thesis. Like obviously, you know, people include like an illustration or something like that if they have them. Mine is Hitler holding Bobo the bear, saying "This is all your fault," and the subtitle of the thesis is "This is all your fault." Yeah,
fucking amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, like there's some interesting points to note about it as well. Like, I mean, there's definitely something significant about how American and British people have tried to make the Nazis seem funny and comical.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to what they used to do in wartime when they were when it was propaganda, the Mickey Mouse stuff and Donald Duck. There's a Donald Duck cartoon called Der Fuhrer's Face where he wakes up from having worked in a dream where he worked in a Nazi factory, and he gets up and he's like, "Oh, I love living in free America," or something like that. It's like the most overtly propaganda thing I've ever seen. But yeah, essentially that is how I spent my final year.
That is so interesting. It's like it's actually like it's really valid thing for you. No, it is for you. Like
yeah, it sounds valid
on TV, but
yeah.
It's just funny when you say you focus on Simpsons because obviously you run Irish Simpsons Fans.
Yeah,
Ireland Simpsons Fans. Excuse me.
It's been a beautiful journey from there.
So like, once a meme lord, always a meme lord, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't understand that's what it was at the time. The idea for the page only came out about a year or so later when I think it was a joke. I discovered UK Simpsons 2, which is like the shit posting page in the UK, and it doesn't really grow. They kicked a lot of people out of it. It's UK Simpsons 2 because the guy who started UK Simpsons went mad with power and kicked everybody out and deleted the group, and it was a weird backstory I don't understand. But I posted in that page.
I love Facebook drama.
Yeah,
just random Facebook page drama and live for it.
I posted in that page saying something like some 19 because it was the centenary was coming up. And it's some like rebellion joke about how Irish people would take back their country or whatever like that. Like some like terrible joke. But then all my friends who were Irish and were like, yeah, that's a great idea. And a couple of weeks later then somebody asked me when I was going to do it. And you know me, I say things as a joke, but then when people expect it to be done feel this tremendous obligation to fulfill it.
Yeah. If you get any interest at all, someone's like, oh, that's it. And done.
Yeah. So I was working for USI, Union of Students in Ireland at the time. One of the guys who was working in QUB in Queens had seen the thing and was like, let's just do it, man. So we had time off at an event and we just chucked everyone in. We made a load of student union jokes and then the real people came.
That's good.
And started making actual memes.
Yeah, and every now and again it will go back to colleges and then it will go back to Sinn Féin.
Yeah, exactly. It's cyclical, yeah. Like boom and bust Sinn Féin and colleges.
Yeah. So I guess if anyone watching the podcast wanted to join it, what do they need to know?
Well, it's open to pretty much anyone. If you look like a fake profile, we'll kick them out.
Oh yeah.
But Ireland Simpsons Fans is the group on Facebook. And then Twitter we're Irish Simpsons Fans because Ireland Simpsons Fans was too long. Okay. They're the only accounts we have that are worth following anyway. And yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, give it a go, sure. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
No, you don't. Yeah, occasionally we do get comments from people saying, what the hell is this? People will message you looking for an explanation, or people will post this like, I have absolutely no idea what's going on, quote. I hate that. That's the worst. Don't be that person. In fact, if you don't know all that much about Irish references, don't join. I'll just kick you out.
Just save you the trouble.
Yeah, just save yourself the trouble.
Stay out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Jack. Check us out. We're on YouTube and SoundCloud, and check out the Patreon if you want to support the podcast. And see you next week. Perfect.
Great. That was fun.